Hi there. It's February the 21st and we're reading still in Leviticus. Today we're reading Leviticus 11 and the very short chapter 12. And in Leviticus 11 we come to the food laws, the rules for what the Hebrew calls kashrut, the things that are kosher, the things that are clean. And God makes a distinction between things that are clean and things that are unclean. We actually read back in Genesis in the story of Noah, of Noah taking different numbers of clean and unclean animals, and now here in Leviticus 11 there's more distinction. Basically, a clean animal is one that chews the cud and splits the hoof. So the explanations are there about animals that chew the cud but don't split the hoof, like the rabbit, or animals that split the hoof but don't chew the cud, camels and things like that. And these are all off limits to people to eat. Also fish, things that swim in the sea. So the only fish that really is acceptable is fish that has fins and scales. So that excludes shellfish and octopus and things like that. And then no eating of reptiles is permitted either. Nothing that creeps on the earth. But interestingly to us, and this is an interesting cultural thing, locusts are okay. So you can have a good feast of locusts, which we wouldn't immediately want to partake of, but locusts are kosher. And so the reason for all this is because there is a large number of people and God is concerned for their general health and their general well-being. And whilst we can't scientifically necessarily understand or explain this, God is looking out for the people's health as a whole. And so he wants to make sure that the food that they're eating is food which is going to be clean, is going to be food that they can rely on as not carrying diseases. Then in chapter 12, there's a short chapter, as I say, about the cleansing or about the presentation of women who have had children. There are different lengths of time that they have to be in confinement for boys and for girls. And also when they come to the temple, they're to bring a sacrifice. This is probably to do with the fact of blood being shed in the birth of a child, and blood is something that is very important, very key. Blood has to do with the carrying of life, and so therefore where life and blood are involved, there's also special approaches to God to be made. It's interesting that in the case of Mary, Jesus' mother, when they come to the temple early in the story in the New Testament, Mary is poor enough not to be able to bring the lamb offering, and she brings instead the pigeon offering, which shows that they are a poor family. But again, as with other offerings previously, there's provision for the poor woman to be able to bring a lesser offering. God's heart is also towards the poor. Have a good February the 20th.